Well, this is Global Digest think tank group. We are talking with different people from different countries. Why don't you briefly introduce to our audience what is your role and how you working in parliament in Uganda?
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Frank Kabuye. I'm a member of parliament for Kassanda South. It is a constituency or a county, but also I'm the shadow minister for the youth and children affairs in Uganda. Shadow minister is the minister on the side of the opposition in parliament, or on the side that is giving an alternative to the ruling government or the ruling party in parliament. You can be a shadow minister in parliament when your party is the one having government. It is not that party in government should have the opposition. No. When you're in parliament, we look at the numeric strength. How many members do you have? The party that has the majority of the numbers, you take up the government side. Then the others, they talk on the opposition side. So I belong to the National Unity Platform Party that is headed by Bobby Wine, Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, but the stage name is Bobby Wine. He was a musician, now a freedom fighter, and the one holding the hopes of Ugandans to get out of maybe the 40-year dictatorship rule of General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. As a member of parliament, we hold 4 major roles that come within our mandates, and mainly is legislation, whereby we look at the different legislatures that we make, the laws that we pass, the bills that we introduce, and maybe give a debate to see that we shape the boundaries and the rules that govern the country, and also how we relate with other international bodies and foreign policies. We do an oversight role. Oversight involves us moving and supervising government programs. For example, if there is a development program that is mainly looking at gender equity, gender compliance, poverty elevation, and other aspects, it is us members of parliament that go out to reach to the communities to ensure that, yes, the program as it was budgeted before, it really exists and it is being operationalized on the ground and people are seeing it being implemented. We supervise other bodies. We bring maybe we do, for example, we can check on how these multilaterals and other companies are using the local funds. For example, if we have a donation from any government, and we have to specify, or maybe it was a condition of the loan or grant that is meant maybe to do a hospital, to do roads, to do schools. It is upon us, members of parliament, to do that oversight to see that there is zero corruption and the funds are being used to do what they are meant to do. We have the budgeting process as one of the aspects that we have, or the roles that we have. Budgeting involves us looking into the figures to see and projecting the future of the country's need financially to see that we budget for what we need and what we have, how we can bridge the gap between the what we need and what we have.
So,
Sorry, I'm back. Do you hear me? Like we see how we can bridge the gap between what we have and what we actually need. Because we run a deficit budget, not a surplus one, whereby we demand for more than what we have. But through that process, the ministers, the different ministries come up with their budgets. We look through them, we look on how we can cut off one of the budgets and maybe merge given responsibilities that look the same or alike in different ministries, and we give it to one ministry so that we scrap off the other expenses and the role being taken up by one minister. Then we give it out and we will read it out for the country to adopt and to operate within it. But also if there is any emergency whereby we need maybe to get a surplus or a supplementary, we do look for that. They introduce a bill, then the minister brings a bill, it is tabled, then we debate it, and if it is agreed upon by majority of the numbers, we take it on and we get those bills. For example, when COVID hit, we had to look for alternative ways of getting funds. That was an emergency. We needed the funds. When in case of an attack, and we need to deploy our soldiers. That is an emergency. We need to go into the classified expenditures and get those funds, and maybe we secure the hopes of our people and their lives and their property. The fourth law comes within representation. Representation now, this comes back to the grassroots of the people that give us the support, people that voted for us, people who sent us into the August House. We have to represent their views. We have to bring their concerns. For example, if we have a calamity or a hailstorm hit your constituency, this is the opportunity and the platform. You have to speak it direct to the minister so that they come and help the people. In case there is any insecurity that is maybe taking up the region, you have to speak about it from your constituency. You give it to the line ministers, they process it and look for alternatives and what they can do best to see that the situation comes back to me. And all the concerns within your constituency come in that aspect of representation. That's why you have to listen to the people, get their voices. That's why sometimes we are sent in recess. And in recess, you get a chance to visit your community without pressure of attending to the house or committees. So you listen to them, you give them time, they explain to you all the programs that have been running for them that are sponsored by government to see if really they are being implemented as it is written, they are being implemented to the right person and by the right people. Yeah, those are some of the roles that we have as leaders. And also, I being a shadow minister for the youth, Uganda's population is majorly young, and many people are young people below the age of 25 or 30. So we have a lot that we have to do, but being the shadow minister, not the real minister or the state minister, it limits us financially because we just have to speak about this. We cannot do anything about it. You cannot put it into the program if it is not adopted by that senior minister, I can say, or the state minister. We just have to speak about it, and if they see any need in it, they will adopt it. If it beats them politically or in anyhow they feel like, no, this we shall not take on, we have nothing to do about it. We just have to wait for maybe another debate and we challenge them to show them that, you know what, I told you about the unemployment, here we are. I told you about the teenage pregnancies, here we are. I told you about climate. You see many young girls and boys are being active now. They are proactive, are fighting for climate justice. But where is the government priority in keeping this climate? Because we are the generation that is going to take on a country, and we are not going to take on a country that is being affected by floods every day. We are not going to take on countries that are going to be affected by landslides every day. Yet, when we are doing the activism, we just arrest us. Yet, we are trying to preach to the people and show them, you know what, we need to preserve the environment. We need to keep our climate to see that we tackle some of the challenges. The rainfall that we receive, let us use it maybe in planting forests, but not giving out forests and wetlands to investors. They occupy that land. Water will find its way through us, especially the Wananchi or the low people who occupy the lowlands and other slums. So that's what we are mainly doing here.
So your constituency is from Kampala, Central Region, where
My
you get elected.
Within the Central Region, but not in Kampala. It is 80 kilometers from Kampala.
How many seats your party have in parliament?
My party has 59 members, and it has the majority of the numbers in opposition. That's why it is taking on the leader of opposition. It comes from my party, because a party that has the majority in the opposition, or the second party to have the majority of the numbers in parliament, takes on the leader of opposition, or the position of the leader of opposition. You lead the entire opposition. If you have
how many numbers of seats in parliament?
Ugandan parliament has 529 seats. 529 members of parliament. In the opposition, we are 109.
So you are from opposition?
Yeah, I'm coming from an opposition party. Yeah, in the opposition, we are 109. And for my party specifically, we are 59.
So I guess Uganda opposition, you never get a seat for government, right? You never has government position, no president, no minister from your party, not yet,
Yeah,
right? So
if
how is
the
only
opposition,
one party is controlling? Is there possible your opposition can win sometime?
it is difficult for us to say that one can
Right.
operate freely in this government and you become a minister and you hold that position and still be vulnerable to speak the truth. Because we've seen opposition members crossing to the government and getting positions. Ministers, for example, the current justice minister, or the Minister of Justice is a former, is still party president in one of the opposition political parties. It is now the Minister of Justice. And but we all know he's no longer working within his interest, but he's driving a motion or a motive of someone's interest or someone else in the deep state. In Uganda, if maybe if you are to operate with the current government and you're from the opposition, automatically you have to subscribe to them. You never have a free ground to operate. For example, if you are NUP and you say they can't give you a ministerial post, they cannot do that unless when you subscribe to them and you tell them, you know what, we are going into this, it is non-agreement or it is like a marriage, you're taking me, I'll still be speaking NUP, like represent NUP, my political party, but I'm going to be working for your interests. I will do everything for you as you want it. Those are, we have many that have sold off, many members from FDC, from BP, from NUP, from UPC. You have seen them go into the NRM or the ruling party, but not on free will or not on neutral working ground, but because they have been promised to be given seats or they have been given huge sums of money for them to change their minds and speak otherwise. But it is not like maybe you go to a government and you say even opposition leaders are given a ground for them to put in their inputs as long as we are speaking about democracy, speaking about development, speaking about transformation and other rights like human rights. It is not like that in Uganda. You just speak about it if you're within them. But if you're not with them, they can't give you ministerial post.
So in current government, how many minister position from opposition party?
As I said, you know, you can't be in opposition and hold a ministerial post.
So no minister in government.
Those that are told off are like 5.
Right now.
Those that are told off are like 5, but one went into an agreement and sort of the whole political party to the guy,
they are from opposition party, but they are not working for opposition party, right?
Yeah. So now it is to be among us.
So it came from opposition, 5 minister, right? You said.
Yeah, 5.
So what is shadow minister? I mean, what is your exact role? I mean, you are under which minister? Shadow minister, which department?
Yeah, for a shadow minister, it is in parliament. As I told you, in parliament, these ministers come and sit with us. And they bring their budgets, they bring their statements, they bring their motions, they bring the petitions. Then it is upon us in the opposition, we are guided by these ministerial posts that we can come out and guide. But for simplifying the work and making it specific that at least we receive something that is, we receive a response from someone that has information about something and not that everyone must speak about something.
Shadow minister for foreign minister or home minister or education minister or what?
Yeah, we have different ministers. For example, I'm the shadow minister for the youth and children affairs. I have the minister for gender, shadow minister for gender. Then in the ruling government, there is a minister, state minister for the youth and children affairs. There is a state minister or cabinet minister for gender. We
Right.
give ourselves alternative. If this minister in the serving government brings a statement and maybe the opposition has another alternative they would like, or a stand they would like to be adopted, it is upon you, the line minister. For example, if the shadow minister for the state minister for children and youth affairs in Uganda from government brings a statement, like maybe when they are going to celebrate the International Girls Day or the International African Child Day, like it is upon us, the shadow minister, like for example, me, the shadow minister for the youth, to come up with the alternative response, looking on what the opposition would like to present and the stand that we have as the opposition. And this comes after us discussing about it with the leader of the opposition and other cabinet members in the shadow government.
Right.
And also they bring a statement that is agreed on, and it is the stand of the world cabinet, given the president and other people, the president as the head. Also for us, I heard there is a leader of opposition that heads the cabinet of the shadow ministers, but this only operates in parliament. You will not find any office outside parliament that is for the shadow minister, no. But these guys are enjoying the privileges of being ministers and also members of parliament. That is what we ask. For us, there is that section put in parliament just to guide the legislation and other proceedings of parliament with authorities that are all set on.
So I guess most your minister are very young, right? Or most parliament members are young, right? But your president is very old, I guess.
Yeah, the president is very old, though he doesn't want to hear that.
So most of the parliament member are how long? How old they are? How old they are?
The average age is 37, I think. The average age. We have those that are so old and those that are middle aged and the young.
Randomly, right? Randomly. Maybe most ministers may be also old because of president.
The ministers are old.
So yeah, it's
those are some of the challenges we face. That's why maybe internet adoption and penetration are still low in the country. Many people are not connected to the internet. Many regions are not well connected to the internet. And most of the things that maybe are youth friendly and youth like those that are interested in by youths mainly, they are not so developed because of the elders that are running the country that see no need in this or see a few interest in this. Yeah, just like for us, we might be having interest in sports, yet for them it is not in their need because maybe they don't give it a chance and they know they will never play.
Information is important, you know. If the people don't get any proper information, they cannot make proper selection or, you know, supporting any political group, and they cannot improve their living and their day-to-day life without a good information, communication, education, you know. So nowadays, without satellite, you cannot do many things. It's very limited, including for, you know, a good governance. ICT is important. So how's Uganda parliament and other African country parliament, Kenya or other country, compared to them, how's your level of improvement? Maybe Kenya is more transparency and better parliament compared to Uganda.
I can say Kenya has a better parliament compared to Uganda because even in the numbers, you know, most of these members are in parliament known to front their people's interests, but because the ruling government knows they need these representatives to pass what they want, to pass the laws that are in their favor, to amend the constitution as they want, because it is all about numbers. If you have the numbers, you take the law passes. So if they bring an amendment to the constitution and they have the numbers, then they will definitely take win that law and they amend it. So it is mainly to their interest, not within the interest of the people. So there's no transparency, as you said, it is very low because even accessing some information, members of parliament can even strive and struggle to go through a lot of processes and through different persons to get them that clear information about something, whereby even they can even amend resolutions of parliament if they are not in favor of what the states or the state and government wants. They can even amend it and put a different resolution. So a lot is going on, but we believe and hold our hopes high that it is upon us to make this parliament a better institution for the country, to bring out the national picture and also to represent Uganda worldwide and other international bodies. It is upon us to model the future of the country and make it a country that we want to be. We want it to be. The generations that are coming to find something that is well developed and something that is well connected, that maybe will help them to even connect more and also have a chance to develop from something, not to begin from scratch.
So Uganda, maybe I think Christian country, right? It's majority Christian.
Yeah.
And Kenya also Christian country. And most of country in Central Africa and southern part of Africa, they are Christian, right? Christian countries.
Yeah.
Maybe northern
Then
part
in
of
the northwest and northwest, those are Islamic countries mostly.
yeah, most, but majority countries in the whole African Union, maybe more Christian country. Can you say like that? Why? I mean, usually Christian countries should be more, free and democracy, transparency, and development. What do you think? Something unable to develop in those Christian countries? What's the main reason?
Christianity is a religion whereby we are preached about it from childhood.
But it's related to freedom, liberty, related to democracy, It's reflection.
We know what is right and what is wrong, but still the decision is upon individuals. It is a personal moral or habit that involves in corruption and embezzlement and other aspects of life that maybe are not in line with their duties. So I think religion and other cultures contribute less to the transparency and democracy in the country, but also they try to model and put maybe faith and hope in the people's hearts. But it is upon us, the leaders, that take on these roles to represent and try to get that image. We act by what we speak and what we mean, not just to learn about it and live it there. Because in the end, we shall face it. In the end, there is a time we only have to hold it at heart that there is a time to be questioned. Even if it is not here, in life after death, there is a time we believe we Christians to read about it. There is life after death, and in that life after death, it's where you find your judgment. So you'll be asked for the wrong that you've done, for the people that you killed, for the human rights violations, for everything. So it is upon personal morals. I can't attach it to Christianity, to any religion. I can't attach it to culture, but personality. It is upon us. You might find a priest who speaks and preaches well, but does contrary. And you can find someone who is not even connected to church, who doesn't give a damn about church, but they are doing what is right. So just like it is humanity, human nature.
Personal leadership and personal engagement is important in the government. If your personal leadership is not good, a good relationship with the foreign countries like America or Europe, if you are not good relationship, it will be not much helpful for development. Maybe why they don't want to. You cannot able to make a good relationship with those countries. In fact, they are also same Christian country. It's much easier for, working together with same faith. But if your leader are not pay attention or not let them engage in this direction, a good relationship with foreign country. It may be
International relations play a vital role in holding these governments maybe accountable, making them look more transparent and respect human rights and other democracies and whatever that is needed for a clear and a free independent country. But as I told you, it can be done for PR. For example, in Uganda, back then people thought Uganda was a very peaceful country, democracy, whereby the person who has been in power has been voted for democratically and is loved by the country. But it is just recent, in the recent elections, where he exposed himself to the world after being challenged so bad that he never wanted to lose. He turned off internet on the voting day. He banned Facebook up to now. From 2021. Facebook is not legalized in Uganda, and to use it, you have to use VPN. We had a documentary that was recorded. I can maybe give you some hint. You can search about it on Disney.
right.
Hulu. You can search about it. It is called Bobby Wine, the People's President. You can search about it and see how the elections transpired. That has exposed him more. The Western world has seen that indeed they are sponsoring our suffering. They are sponsoring someone who is dictating over us, not someone who is leading the country to prosperity or development. Yet they thought it was like that. But they had kept a clear relationship with them, giving them that aspect. But I believe right now they're not in good terms because of the recent anti-LGBT law that was passed, and it was consulted to by the president.
Liberalization and economic freedom are reflection from Christian ideology, and also privatization. And you can have a lot of private business, and you can have a private company, private school.
There is a clear law whereby you can come and invest in Uganda. We have the investment authority, the National Investment Authority, where you can pass and maybe do that. But also sometimes to avoid the bureaucracy, because that comes with the long process and different steps you have to fulfill. But also sometimes to dodge the bureaucracy, some people have partnered with others. They look for good locations with the locals. When they start up a business, like they sub-rent or they cooperate and own in the documentation it comes that maybe they are owning the business together. Then the investors build the school, then maybe there is a percentage they give him as a commission, then they run everything. That comes to avoid everything. But if you have a bigger investment that is taking up, that is going to create employment for Ugandans and other people, you can even be given incentives like free land. If at all you go to do that line, as I told you, though it is somehow long and complicated, but you can get free land and some tax exemptions for the first time.
Maybe other country, Kenya, Tanzania, or other African country, may be much attractive or incentive or easier for like private school and college investment or opening by foreigner compared to Uganda. It may be the competition with other country. People will go easier one, easier one.
I'm not so sure about that, but for Tanzania, at least I've seen it by myself. Even a Ugandan to own something in Tanzania, it is very hard because these guys fear so much. Ugandans, Ugandans can speak good English, so they don't want to lose their investors to Uganda. Even if you're entering, though we have the East African community, but when you're going to Tanzania, you have to answer a lot of questions. So I think Tanzania can be more favorable for that, but Uganda has a better market, I can say, because most of it has many people come from Tanzania and Rwanda and Kenya to come to Ugandan schools. Remember, we have the best university in Africa. It is ranked number 5, the Makerere University.
Where is more expensive, living expensive, Uganda or Tanzania? Where is more expensive for living?
Living, I think, you know, every country has those expensive regions. If you come with a moderate life, a middle life, and you want maybe to live a middle life, you can live in any country. If you are a person of corporate life, you can still live in every country. For example, in Kenya, we have the Westlands. It is for corporate. In Uganda, we have Munyonyo and other sides of the country that, like Entebbe, Munyonyo, Chira, those are expensive places. In Nairobi, we also in Tanzania, we have Arusha and other cities that are expensive, but still for a moderate person can find space in any country. In Uganda, I've lived in Uganda for all along. I've been in Uganda and life is so easy to adapt to.